Hey, what's going on? This is Wes Watkins, and this is the second episode of The Life That Created My Own Sound. I am excited for today. I'm happy for this interview. I have one of my best friends here with me today, Miss Dani, Miss Danielle Davis. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good.
Doing good? You feeling good?
I'm feeling good.
Feeling happy? Feeling great?
I'm happy. I'm great. I'm all that.
You vibing?
I'm vibing, always.
We vibe logging? That's what we doing? Okay. So look, I've been looking forward towards this interview right here for a minute. We've been trying to get it together for the last few weeks, and we finally got it. So yes. So first of all, I have my band got my own sound. We have a new EP out called Out of Love, and on that EP we wrote a song called Dani's Fight. And for all of you who have the EP, this is who the song was about, Dani. So, man, let's just jump straight into it. I don't even want to hold up no more. So, what led up to your situation? I'll let you tell the people of what's going on.
Sure. So I'm Dani, and last year, July, I was diagnosed with leukemia and lymphoma, and it was and is still a struggle, a battle, and all that. But prior to the diagnosis, I was just living, right? And I think life just happened for me.
So what happened leading up to you being diagnosed? Did you know anything? Were you feeling what happened? What made you go to the doctors to even for them to even diagnose you with it?
Yeah, so first of all, my body was talking to me.
Okay.
Wasn't really paying attention to the different signs that I guess it was trying to give me that, hey, something's not right. And that was happening for probably about like a year prior to. And
so hold on, just not to cut you off, boy,
yeah.
Yeah, to cut you off. But like you saying for like a year, so like what were you feeling like body wise? Like what do you mean? Like fatigue? Like what was
I am, for everyone who knows me, I'm the person that's always on the go. Yeah. I'm not gonna stop going. I'm just gonna be out here partying and having a good time and just living, I guess. And that began to get hard for me. Like I started getting tired and sick. I remember a trip with the girls to Deep Creek. I literally crashed on the trip. Like I ended up in bed. Everyone's out, having a good time, and I'm in the bed. And on the last day,
like your body just shut down.
My body shut down.
Okay.
On the last day, I was in bed. Like the morning that we were leaving, in the ride home, I was in chills. I was shaking. I was like, I can remember the girls, like, they're like, I'm sure just probably thinking like, oh, she, got a cold or something like that. Yeah. And I'm over there like ready to cry because I don't know what's going on with me. And my cousin, she took me to the hospital, and I had a fever of like 104. And they were like, they ran all these different tests and everything and sent me back home and told me I had like a virus. And I was like, okay, went home, and it took me probably about a week to get back to myself. And I think that was probably the first sign of my body speaking to me. Wow. And then after that, I had noticed that I had like what the doctor, my primary care doctor, called a cyst on my neck. And it was, like this ball like in my neck. And I was just like, one day I ended up feeling it, and it was there, and it over time began to grow, but because I'm so hard-headed, I just didn't pay attention to it. I can remember getting to a point where I couldn't, and this is a little, I guess transparent, but I couldn't hold my urine. Like I was to the point where like I kept feeling like I had to pee all the time, and went to the gynecologist, and she's like, yeah, maybe your bladder dropped. Here's some exercises you can do, or you can get you can also get an operation to fix that. And I'm like, okay, never thought anything of it, just kept it moving because it would come and go.
Okay.
So over time, things like that just started happening more and more. And May of last year, I had gotten sick again, where I was in the bed with a fever and stuff, and took about a week to get over it.
Yeah.
And then June comes, my birthday. I was celebrating my birthday, and then July hit, and July. By that time, the knot on my neck had swelled up like so big. Wow. And I was at work. I can remember being at work, and I couldn't focus. Like, I was so dizzy and weak. I had ended up getting out with my homegirl for lunch, and she's looking at me. She's like, "You need to go to the doctors." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, whatever." I hate the doctors. I hated the doctors because it's just. So, just another thing to do. But I went back into work into a meeting that I had, and I couldn't focus at all. Like, I was so dizzy, I felt like I was gonna pass out. So I left work, went home. This is how stubborn I am. Still didn't go to the doctors. Went home and laid down. And my daughter, she came into the living room, and she looked at me. She was like, "Mommy, you don't look good." And I was like, I'm just looking at her, and she was like, "Can you please go to the doctors?" And of course, that was it. So I went to the hospital, in there, sit in and tell them, I'm basically walking, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm weak, dizzy, and I got this knot on the side of my neck." And they're like, "Okay, we're gonna run some tests, we'll do some x-rays." So I'm in the back, sitting there chilling. Here comes my cousin, because I'm text my girls and told them I was gone. We're in this group chat. Here comes my cousin. We in there laughing, joking, partying.
Right.
And
partying in the hospital.
In the hospital, getting it in. It was
okay.
nothing. My homegirl comes, and we're still it's just like another day. Honestly, I thought I had a virus again, right. or something. And after the test, we're in the room, and the doctor comes in, and she sat on my bed. And I was like, "Oh, what's up?" Right. And she's like, "How long you been feeling like this?" And I said, "Why?" I don't even
just tell me why. Cut to the chase. Let's get straight to the point.
On?
Right.
And she was like, "Well, we're not sure or certain what's going on with you, but we do know that we need to send you to an oncologist." And honestly, at that time, I'm thinking okay, what oncologist? All right, I know that they study blood and stuff like that, but I'm like, what?
Why?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So they literally had scheduled me an appointment for the next morning, and of course, I'm sitting there asking questions. What could it be? They start naming all these different autoimmune disorders and stuff, and I hear lymphoma, and I hear all these sarcoidosis and stuff. And I'm just like, whatever. This doesn't make any sense to me. I want my mommy. That's all I wanted was my mom in that moment. So anyway, long story short, left from there. The next morning, I go. I'm distraught, of course, and confused. And they say, "Okay, we need to do a biopsy." And they got me in for a biopsy 2 days later, and they biopsied this lump that I used to refer to it as, or cyst, that I thought it was for quite some time on my neck, and it came back positive for cancer.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
What was your reaction to them telling you that that's what it was, that it was cancer? What was your feeling?
Honestly, this is crazy. So I can remember getting the call, and I called you.
Yeah.
I called you, and I was like, "Hey, I have to get to the doctors right now. I need you to come get Micaiah. I need you to come pick Micaiah up." So you came and you grabbed Micaiah, and my mom and I, we went to the doctors, and it was, of course, the thoughts that were going through my mind were, I was still 50-50, it could be, something serious, or maybe it's not.
You're not trying to make your mind think that that's what it is.
Yeah, so my mom, of course, she's like, "Oh, you're good, we're good." But my doctor, the door was open, and my doctor was standing, I can remember her standing in the hall, and she's on the phone, and she was like, yeah, I'm looking for the report for Miss Davis. Something came back positive, and I don't have the report in my files. And I'm like flipping. I'm like, Mom, you know, she said it's positive or something. My mom's like, you know, so she slams the door. I can remember her slamming the door, and she's like trying to calm me down. She was like, no, it's not for you. And she comes in, and she, you know, she's like, you know, you were, you know, you have cancer. It came back positive, and more tests still need to be ran to figure out exactly what type, because with lymphoma there are tons of types of lymphoma. So I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, small B-cell non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So at that time she was telling me it was low grade, meaning slow growing, that it could be, you know, we caught it at a good time, and we're going to go through 6 months of chemo, and basically I would be fine. So in my mind, I'm trying to still digest this, and the first thing that's coming to my mind is death. Like, oh my God, you hear cancer, you think death, and my daughter. All I'm thinking is, Micaiah, am I going to be here for Micaiah? Am I going to be here for Micaiah? And I can remember, you know, just thinking death. Like it was nothing that anyone else could, you know, it was just in that moment, that's all I was thinking was, I'm gonna die. Like I'm gonna die. And that's sad. Like now, like looking back, to think that, and I think a lot of people, in my opinion, I know, like prior to, and this is probably why I thought that, to my diagnosis, thinking death. Like when you think cancer, you think this, you know, I always would see cancer patients like super sick, looking like death, you know. So I thought that. Yeah. Okay,
so after finding that out, and I think, like, if I'm not mistaken, you said like your type of cancer is like a rare form, right? Like it's like a rare cancer.
Yeah. So okay. So we come up with this plan, and I have this huge support system behind me. Right. You know, 6 months of chemo, I'm gonna kick cancer's ass, and I'm gonna be good. Yeah. And my mom was like, no, we're going to get a second opinion. I don't feel right about it. We need a second opinion, and that's just what it is. You know, like, that's what we're doing. You're not moving forward. So my doctor's like, yeah, but you need chemo, and we need to do this. And she's like, you need to get a port. And a port is to receive the chemotherapy that I was supposed to receive for 6 months. And
did you end up getting that? Did they start it before?
So I went for surgery, got the port placed in my chest and everything, and that was like super hard because I was thinking about just this freaking device being put in my chest and everything. You know, that was a whole emotional roller coaster, but my mom kept on pressing and pressing and pressing. We ended up getting in with Hopkins literally the week before I was supposed to do chemo. And we go to Hopkins, and by that time I am swollen. Like, my neck is swollen, under my arms are swollen, everything in me is like just swollen. All my lymph nodes had swelled up. And we get to Hopkins, and the doctor looks at me, and he compares my current state to my scans and everything that I've had prior to, and he was like, let's run some more tests. So he ran more tests. Comes back that I have leukemia, and so he said, okay, you not only do you have leukemia and lymphoma, but you have a 17p deletion with an unmutated cell. And of course I'm like, what the heck does this mean? Right. That means that one of my chromosomes deleted somewhere, somehow, at some point in time. They don't know how, they don't know when it happened, but for me that means that my cancer doesn't have a path. Like most cancers, when cancer cells reproduce, it's they reproduce like themselves, like in the same form. So you think like a mutation of something, it mutates into something. Mine is unmutated, so it's all over the place. Right. Chemo was not an option for me, so I was unable to do chemotherapy. Right. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, death. Like, now I'm really thinking death at this point. And that's all I could think was death. So we had to wait, of course. You got that waiting game.
Right.
Of what's the plan? What can y'all do for me? Type thing. So you're telling me I don't, in my mind I'm thinking, was I misdiagnosed? And they're like, well, you weren't misdiagnosed, but they missed something. Right. Like, oh, okay.
It's like, how did you miss that?
Yeah, like that's like the biggest thing.
Right.
So they tell me that they were going to put me on a medication called Imbruvica, and that's what I take.
So, because you couldn't do chemo, what do they expect you, or what are you supposed to do? Like, is there a certain medicine you're supposed to take? Like, what is the thing you do to be good since you can't do chemo?
Right. So, unlike some people, who hear there's nothing we can do.
Right.
Thank God 2 years ago, there was a medication approved as frontline treatment for someone with my condition.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called Imbruvica.
Okay.
And it's a target therapy where it targets, it's an immunotherapy where it targets the cancer cells. Okay. And I've been on it every day since September of last year, and with this medication is known to put you into a remission, but for me, it won't put me into a deep enough remission. So the overall goal, so basically they say, hey, we're gonna put you on this medication. So I'm on this medication, right? And then they said that they would switch my medication over to another medication at some point, which would put me into a deeper remission in order to get me healthy enough to do a bone marrow transplant. So that's the overall goal. So they feel that a bone marrow transplant will cure me.
Okay.
So someone my age, with CLL, SLL, which is chronic lymphocytic leukemia, and small lymphocytic lymphoma with a 17p deletion and an unmutated cell is extremely rare. But this is your plan. We're gonna take you and give you these medications, and we're gonna cure you, basically. And the doctor says they're cautiously optimistic about it.
Okay, first of all, you just put about 8 SAT words. The only thing I got was cautiously optimistic, but nah, that's
right.
Only thing I heard.
So I'm like, oh, okay.
Right. Wow. So, if I'm not mistaken, I think you said before, like only 6% of the people in the world have this, or am I?
Honestly, I don't. Please don't quote me.
I got you.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's not
extremely rare.
Right.
It's so rare that my original. So I work with 2 oncologists.
Okay.
I have an oncologist that I see once a month, and then one that I see every 3 months.
Okay.
It's so rare that my oncologist was 99% certain that what I had was just, small lymphocytic lymphoma.
And it was a complete opposite.
And it was a complete opposite because of the 17p deletion. So it's so rare that a lot of oncologists don't even test for it. So it's so important, and I want to stress this while I have a minute and moment while people are watching. Always get a second opinion. Always get a second opinion. Right. If my mom had not...
You would have stayed with trying to
my
get the
doctor
chemo
at Hopkins was straight up I would not be here.
Wow.
I thank God for my mom, and I also thank God for even the Hopkins doctor taking me in such a short period of time. But it's so important to get a second opinion.
Right.
It's so important to get a second opinion. I thank God for that, because it was, of course, tough news, right, to swallow and stuff, but that chemo would have killed me. Right. And I still have the port, I still get treatments.
So you still have to get treatments through the port?
I get treatments through the port, so I go for iron and And I'm still gonna need it because I'm still gonna have to do chemo.
Right.
But
Let me just ask you this:
yeah.
how does that feel like getting the treatment? Like, how does it? Like.
So I had one bad experience, and that one bad experience was because I didn't use my. So they give you like this numbing ointment to put over it, and I didn't have it one day, and they said, "Oh, well, you
felt everything."
Oh my gosh! They said, "Well, we'll use ice to numb it," and I was like, "Okay." And she put that ice and for me to numb it, and then it's like a needle, like about this big, that goes into. Yeah, and it just sits there, you know. And once it's in, it's okay. But just that initial, yeah. It's like, I mean, I don't know. Some people are scared of needles, but it's definitely different from just a needle going into your arm. But yeah,
so it's worse than that. Like just go like a.
Yeah, no. It's like a sharp. I mean, just imagine like it's a pain, the initial, but thank God for the numbing cream.
Yeah.
Because I caked that joint up on there, and I'm good to go.
That's crazy. Okay, so let's fast forward. So you get diagnosed.
Yeah.
They tell you all of this, and this is what's going on with you, and so you get your reaction, everything like that. How do you break the news to your family? Like, what is that? Like, what is that emotion? Like, what is that? If you don't mind, take me through that. Like, how do you break it to everybody? Your family, your close friends, people that's close to you. Like, because like the thing is, like, when you break it, it's like sometimes you don't, even though you may be going through something, you don't want the sympathy party. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how do you? What is your feeling when you tell everybody, and then how do you deal with it after you tell everybody to get through it?
So for me, I have a lot of family and I have a lot of friends. Thank God. Mm-hmm. Like I'm grateful for that. My mom and my mom, honestly, she handled that part for me. My family handled that part. My brother, he did a GoFundMe, especially like initially thinking that I was going into chemo and just the amount of, I mean, even to this day, there's tons of doctor bills and stuff. So they did a GoFundMe to raise money to support me with medical expenses and stuff. And that's what got the word out. Like that's what got the word out. Okay. The news that I the news that was hard. It was hard for me to tell my daughter. Like it was just that was the hardest thing. Forget everything. Forget everyone else. But
how did that conversation go? Tell her.
Painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just really painful. I can remember tiptoeing around her and not trying to tell her, what was going on. She knew mommy was sick.
She just didn't know what.
She didn't know what was, what was going on. My daughter she's sharp.
Her daughter's like she got like the IQ of Einstein. Hold on, I'm sorry. Listen. This is my home. This is one of my best friends. So she was like, at one point, she's like, yo, I need you picking Kyle from school, take to school. I got you covered. Her daughter is very smart. Math wasn't my greatest subject, okay? I worked at a bank, but thank God we had calculators and stuff. Her daughter gets in the car and starts telling me math jokes. Hey, Mr. West, listen. I'm just trying to tell you right now. Listen. I told him the square root of 100 was whatever. And guess what? He got it wrong. Okay. Like, okay. So, yeah, I get you. I'm sorry. I'm just. Her daughter's smart. She just makes you feel dumb sometimes. She just makes me feel dumb.
Yeah, no. So, I sat her down. Mm-hmm. And I just told her, I was like, I'm sick and I have cancer. And I think I was afraid to tell her everything, like what type.
Right.
Because my daughter she's going to Google everything. So, I was afraid to tell her what type. And I told her that I was going to beat it and I was going to fight and that I needed her.
Yeah.
I told her that I needed her and I was like, I just need you to be strong for mommy. And, I just told her that I was gonna fight, and
Right.
that is my reason. Every single day is her.
Right. Right.
She is my reason. Is I'm not with I will go through hell and back as long as I know that she's good.
Right.
You know.
Right. That was my next. You answered my next question. I wanted to know what was
my inspiration
so
is her.
Yeah.
It's her, hands down. There's times when I'm in that bed where I can't get out that bed. My baby will come in, and she's so strategic. She's so smart. She'll come in and she'll just peek in the room, and she's like, "You okay, mommy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, baby, I'm fine." And I could be sitting there crying or whatever, you know.
Right,
and she knows. It's like she senses when I'm down, because I get down. I have days where I can't get out that bed, and I am stuck.
Right.
You know, but she senses it, and she'll come down, and she'll, you know, she's a Scorpio, a true Scorpio. She's one of those want to be bothered when she wants to, and then when she doesn't, you better leave her alone. But when she senses that I'm in a bad space, my baby will come and she'll cuddle with me, she'll hug on me, and I remember being at a place where I didn't want her to leave my side, Wes. Like, I wanted her to sleep with me every night. I wanted her to, like, I was so afraid to leave Micaiah.
Right.
I was afraid that I was gonna die and not get a moment with her.
Right, so you want to be with her.
Oh my God, it was overload. I'm sure that it scared the crap out of her.
Right.
Like, it was so unnormal. It was not normal for because I was so afraid. The emotions that I was feeling.
I could definitely understand.
I was up her butt, and she's looking at me like, "Woman," you know. But I'm like, "No, what if I die and I don't get a chance to hug you today?" You know, I was trying to do everything, fit everything into one moment.
Right, I understand.
Like, I want to pray with you right now. I want to eat with you right now. Let's like, can we sit together? Can we cuddle today? Let's go out. She's looking at me like, "Ma, what are you doing?" 12 years old. She like, "Ma, leave me alone."
So let me ask you this: How hard is it not to fall in the mindset of going into like a depressive state, or maybe even having the mindset of, this is beating me and I may not beat it? Like, how hard is it to keep the mindset of, I gotta keep going, I gotta keep fighting, I can't quit, I can't stop? Because I can just imagine being in your shoes, that it's a hard mindset to change. You know, my father had cancer a couple times, and you know, I'm probably sure all of us around have had people in our lives, or uncles, aunts, grandparents, whoever may have had it. But how is it for you to have it and to constantly try to make sure you keep that concept, that mindset of, I'm not going to let this beat me, or I'm not going to be depressed, or I'm not going to let this take me out? Because a lot of times, sometimes people let the situation defeat them before it's already defeated them. And so it's like, sometimes some people already had a mindset, it's already beat me, so bump it, I might as well just keep it moving. So again, how hard is it to keep the mindset of, I won't be depressed, or this won't beat me, or, you know, whatever?
Yeah. Two answers to
Okay.
that. First answer will probably be the answer that I don't want people to hear.
Right.
So that would be, it's a constant battle and struggle. Like, I'm the type of person, I have mastered my mask.
Okay.
And my mask is this huge smile. I have mastered acting like everything is okay when it's not okay.
Right.
You know, when I'm not okay, when I'm just burnt out, when I'm burnt out. And I think, because, you know, people pass every day.
Right.
And I think, you know, the question that I would constantly ask myself is, well, why does everyone think that I'm gonna be okay versus like the other person that has passed away? So you got people dying from cancer constantly, or just, you know, it doesn't even have to be cancer. It can just be other medical issues or just life, right? And then in those moments when I hear about death, which, oh my God, for so long, I did not want to hear about anyone dying.
Right.
Like, at all. I did not want to hear about death because I'm like, well, they died, I could die. Like, I'm gonna die. Like, I know one day I'm gonna die, but I don't want to die right now. Right. But I get low.
Okay.
I get really low, but I've mastered my mask, and I know that. And we've had this conversation.
Yeah.
Everything that I've gone through in my life, from childhood up until the moment that I was diagnosed, was preparing me for my diagnosis.
Right.
And it was that, and it is that gives me strength to snap out of it.
Right. Gotcha.
Yesterday, you saw me crying on the phone.
Yeah.
A few people called me as I'm crying on the phone. It's a constant battle every day because I literally feel defeated at moments. You know, it's scary because it's the unknown.
Right.
You know, unknown for me is scary.
I got you. So what would you tell somebody who may be in your shoes? What would your message be to somebody who may feel that this is kicking my behind and I may not make it? What would be your message to tell somebody that, nah, you got it, you can make it, you can push, you can get through it? What would be your message to whoever?
So, faith. You know, I'm Dani's faith walk, right?
Tell me about Walk by Faith, Dani's faith walk. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So, Dani's faith walk. The hashtag itself came from a organization that I've been birthed with. Like, you know, it was birthed inside of me for many years, which is Faithfully Me.
Okay.
And you know, which for me is not only encouraging myself but also other people to have faith despite your yesterdays.
Okay.
Peace and joy and love for today, and live like there's no tomorrow.
I like it.
And with that, I've been able to get by.
Okay.
Like, and not get by, but to live, because
right.
I'm still living. Like, I can remember going into a real dark place, like where I was like, I can't do this.
Right.
I can't. I can't. There's no way I can't.
How hard was it to come out of that dark place? Because I've been in that dark place, so I know, when you get to that dark place, man, it's
for me, it was really, really hard because I've always been able to numb my pain with something.
Right.
I was literally stripped and forced to sit down and deal with me.
Right.
So there's, what I keep thinking about is that this is bigger than me.
Yeah.
This is not about me. This is not for me. This is for someone else. This is for, it might be my daughter. It might be my, family or friends or strangers. But this is not for me. Yeah. That's it. My everything that I've gone through leading up to all of this, even to this day, is not for me. It's for someone else. So
I think that's the great thing when you go through situations, because a lot of times we'll go through situations, we'll go through certain processes, and the thing is, God will use you to show somebody else something. Absolutely. And it's like, depending on the situation, you be like, did you have to use me for it?
Oh,
but it's like, I get it, but it's like, you couldn't use the one person I got beef with. No. Like, you couldn't put that on them. I get you.
I battled with that. Like, why this?
It's right.
Like, Lord, why this?
Right.
I couldn't drink it away. I couldn't party it away. I couldn't smile it away. Like, it's a feeling that this is something that I honestly know God was like,
yeah.
Oh no, I'm gonna stop. There's one way or another. I'm gonna stop you. You keep on trying to get rid of everything that I'm trying to birth in you or show you, but this time you can't help but sit. I'm gonna put you in the bed.
Right.
I'm gonna sit your butt down and make you deal with. And I have literally, I've gone to counseling. Because when you're faced with death, it makes you think about, oh my God, am I gonna make it to heaven? That was like, well, if I die, am I at peace? Like, do I know where I'm going? You know, so it makes your faith grow stronger, and it makes you want to become a better person. It makes you want to deal with things that you haven't dealt with. And that's what it did for me. And that's what it's doing for me. I'm like, I still day to day, like I said, I struggle, I battle. You know, when I'm sat down and stuff, it makes me so angry because I can't do what I want, what I feel like I want to do.
Right,
you know,
right.
But it's needed. I know that I'm in a season where God is trying to strip me and learn me something.
That's what I heard that since the 60s. Learn me something.
So that Dani's faith walk is definitely like, no matter what I'm seeing, no matter what I'm feeling, God is bigger.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
God is bigger.
So let me ask you. So like when you found out that you had the song real for you, the Dani's fight, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to everybody that did that, Kane and John and Scooby, the entire Got My Own Sound. How did that make you feel knowing that you had a song? Because the song, if like I said in the beginning, so the song is called Dani's Fight, and it's about Dani, but she's just a representation for anybody or everybody who's dealing with cancer. Because again, even though I'm not in y'all shoes, I know it's a hard walk. I can just imagine that, just seeing how you fought through from since you've been diagnosed. But how does it feel to have a song that is about you and just about your walk, but in the same token, you being the representation for everybody else that may be facing that walk, or you know what I'm saying, that's going through the similar situation?
I'm trying to find a word. Purposeful. If God could put me in a situation that would inspire people to make a song that could touch tons of people, because that song is not just for me and my situation. That's for anyone going through anything. Purposeful. Like, okay, all right, I'm going through this, but oh my God, Wes, when you told me that, and then I'll never forget, I was literally sitting at my dining room table crying, and you sent me a video of you in the studio. Oh, no, and then you FaceTime me. Remember you FaceTime me?
Yeah, I remember.
And I was sitting there, and I was already crying because I was having a moment, but I was like, oh my God. Beautiful song. It's a beautiful song, and it's honestly like something that has gotten me through, and I'm sure it's going to get me through some really tough times.
That's what's up. That's what's up. But man, look, I appreciate you. Well, matter of fact, tell the people real quick, what is your hashtag again, just so they know. What is your hashtag?
So it's hashtag Dani's Faith Walk. On Instagram, you can find me at Dani, Dani Delight, and
Cool. Well, man, look, this concludes the second episode of the Life That Creates My Own Sound. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you share this. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate my special guest, my homie, my friend, my little sister, my little big sister. You know what I mean?
Little big sister.
Yeah, I forgot. You older than me. But we're not going to talk about that. Just neither here nor there. So look, y'all enjoy y'all day. Catch y'all on the third episode. Peace!
I woke up